There's nobody else got something for you, but keep it to yourself. I'm feeling curious, want to explore it, nothing too serious. Forget the world for a minute, before we know it, the future's the past. Seize the moment while we're in it, hold on to each other as long as it lasts. I don't care about forever, 'cause sometimes forever is over so fast. Hush, hush, baby, come in here with me. I want for you to go. No need to worry, there is no hurry to stay. We'll take it slow.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Chicago Bulls up against the Los Angeles Lakers. Looking at the Lakers, they're not satisfied with the record over the last 10 games. Under 500 basketball, just not good enough. Looking to improve tonight. And Kenny, we have lots to talk about. One thing coming up on the horizon, the trade deadline. Front offices have had time to evaluate rosters. What are your feelings about blockbuster in-season trades?
Huge deals are rare in the season, man. You know,
Huge
typically
deals.
Huge deals. You know, but typically they come in the offseason because teams have time to nurture and bring them together. But there have been some great trades in midseason. So you can find new life right after the trade deadline, a la Clyde Drexler of the Houston Rockets, to get us our second championship.
Good point. New players would be slow to acclimate. But, Ernie, I think at times you risk disrupting chemistry.
Sometimes worth the risk and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a nut, sometimes I don't.
Kevin Harlan, take it away.
Tell him sit down. Be humble. 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 Sit down.
It's home to Tinseltown and the Lakers, Los Angeles, California, as we bring you an interconference rivalry here at the Staples Center. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Chris Webber, Greg Anthony on our sideline, as reporter David Aldridge. And a bit of a treat for all our fans out there. The one and only Kobe Bryant's going to join us for this portion of the broadcast. Kobe, what a great honor to have you with us. Thanks for stopping by.
No, happy to stop by. Thanks for having me.
You might have a career in broadcasting, though.
I'm good. I'm good.
No chance, huh?
No, thank you.
I'm glad we've got you tonight. The Bulls are in the midst of a road trip going into this one. Well, compared to last season, you'd have to say the start to this season has not been quite what you'd expect. They hope to improve their record with the win tonight, certainly.
And, you know, for the Bulls, they haven't looked anything like the team we thought they'd be this year. Still such a long way to go. They could be in line for a long, tumultuous season.
Yeah, but there's still plenty of time for them to recover, but they have to show signs of improvement soon.
And we've got time for a quick pregame report. With that being said, let's head to the sideline and our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. DA?
Well, guys, Luke Walton played 10 seasons in the NBA, but it wasn't until near the end in 2011 that he started to consider coaching. Walton says, "I never thought about it until I hurt my back." Now, while he was out of action, Phil Jackson invited him to sit in on the coaches' meetings. Walton said, "I realized that I like that side of the game." And Kevin, he succeeded Phil Jackson as head coach of the Lakers. Back to you.
It definitely did, David. He won titles when he played for the Lakers. Now he'll try to bring that winning mindset back to L.A. Talk, Kobe, about some of the great one-on-one scores. You might be the best ever, actually. But when you take a look at the crop now, who are some good guys in that one-on-one category that you like?
Kyrie's sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great handle. How about his handle? Like one of the best ever, maybe.
Yeah, but he can post too, though.
No,
I mean, that's the thing is he can post up. He can turn left shoulder. He can turn right shoulder. He can shoot a left-hand jump hook coming across the middle. He can pull up going left. He can pull up going right. He can attack off the handle. He can attack off a triple threat. You know, he's built the game without any weaknesses. I think most players, should be thankful that he's not 6'6".
Yeah, right. He'd be Kobe Bryant then, right? He'd be Kobe Bryant. But I always thought that, and his dad played big-time college basketball, played in Australia. Your dad played. I mean, there is something inherent, regardless of how much, that comes from the son of a pro player.
Growing up overseas as well.
Exactly, in Australia.
Growing up overseas as well. And you look at his game being so fundamentally sound and having basic structure. There's a lot to be said for that.
Absolutely. Let's check out Chicago's starting lineup. Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Then there's Dunn, and it's Holiday in at the 2.
Yeah, Ball just really good at running in transition, smart at knowing where to sprint to in the open floor.
And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Now, here's Dunn. 17 points for him last game against the Suns in Phoenix.
And his rebounding was solid in that effort as well. He did a lot of work on the glass. All around, just his effort level was off the charts.
Lakers shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
Two shots.
The first free throw is good. In competition, once again, Kobe, the thing that drives you so much, even on the practice floor, you and Jordan were so much alike in that regard. Is it important to go with your teammates and challenge them in those practices that you recall?
You have to challenge them, because if you don't, then they become conditioned to not have those challenges every day, right? So if you come off of a night where you have a back-to-back, for example, and you have a practice the next morning, it's our responsibility to step into that practice and challenge them as if it was the game that we just played the night before, right? Because if you do not, then you don't have that competitive spirit day in and day out, where then you feel like you can take games off because you can take practices off because you just don't have it in practice, right? So it's our job to bring that every single day so that competing just becomes a habit for them.
And you learn about their mental endurance, their physical endurance during those practices.
Well, yeah, you challenge them to learn about themselves, right? You challenge them to think about themselves. Can I push a little extra? And I'm going to have to, because he's driving me like crazy. And if I don't meet that challenge, I'm going to have to hear his mouth all practice long. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the plane. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the bus. I'm going to have to hear his mouth in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just compete.
Bucket is good. Kobe, the league seems to be moving away from isolation basketball, sometimes called hero ball, in favor of more ball movement, more of a fluid offense. What do you make of that trend?
Well, I think it's the right thing. I mean, if you look at the way the...
Goodness. Wow. Nice, and you can't forget about the bunnies on Caldwell Pope. I mean, this guy is definitely looking to slam it down whenever he gets an opportunity.
And after 20 years in the NBA, Kobe, you were able to play with so many teammates. Can you make a short list of some of your favorites over the years?
Yeah. Let's see. Pau Gasol for me. Derek Fisher.
And a quality person.
Yeah. I mean, just the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
Yeah, right.
And Derek Fisher, Ronnie Turiaf, who's one of my all-time favorites. Lamar Odom, Shaq, obviously, Robert Horry, Rick Fox. I mean, I've been very fortunate to play with some great teams. Horace Grant, AC Green. I mean, the list goes. Ron Harper. I mean, I can go on and on all day long. Brian Shaw. I mean, I was very fortunate to have some really good teammates.
And Kobe, you look around the league and you see a lot of former players as head coaches, guys that you actually played against. Have you ever thought about coaching down the line?
Nope. No, I have not. Not for me. It's for them, though, but it's not for me.
I would think that it would be tough to try to get the same result out of players you coach and not comparing it to the way you play, the way you prepare, the way you were coached.
That's what I hear. I just don't have the desire to even think about it that far. I mean, it's not something that I'm into. But that's the challenges I hear. When Bird was coaching, when Magic was coaching, I always hear that as being the challenge. But ultimately, you have to find different ways to motivate players. And, nobody's the same, right? So you just have to figure out how to get them to their highest level. But still in all, coaching is just not for me.
Poke loose. Outside Holiday. And out of bounds as the Lakers gain possession. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for the Lakers.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
Lakers leading by 4. Hey, Kobe, after dedicating pretty much your entire life to the game of basketball, game that I know you love, you said you don't miss it. Why is that?
Well, because I've been through that process. I mean, I started playing the game when I was like 2 years old, and playing professionally for 20 years, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no regrets there. I've done everything I could possibly do, and truthfully, the game is still with me. The discipline has changed. The industry might have changed, but the same approach, the same things that I've learned from the game, I carry with me to this day. So the game is still inside of me.
Caldwell Pope brings the double team, and out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. You look at the Celtics, a terrific position for them as they hold up that illustrious top spot, but it's a long season, as we all know. And, of course, Chicago just way behind.
And, for the Bulls, there were fears they'd be one of the NBA's doormats this season. Those fears have turned out to be well-founded.
Well, it's not really shocking, is it, considering the makeup of their roster? They need a ton of help in many areas if they want to get better.
Back to Ingram. Now the pass to Ball. Outside for Caldwell Pope. Shot from 12, and there's another one for the Lakers. Kobe, and any chance you might coach or might be a consultant to an organization, for instance?
No,
not at all.
Listen, players reach out to me and they'll call me and I'll give them advice, and I like it better that way as opposed to being tied down with one particular franchise. And I like what I'm doing now, and any player from all over the world can reach out, and I'm there for them in terms of providing advice or counsel.
Well, the story got out last year in the playoffs that Isaiah Thomas and you had some conversations.
Yeah. Well, he reached out and had some questions about how to approach that particular series, and I just said, send me over the film. What are you looking at? And I'll tell you. I'll take a look at it and I'll tell you what I see, and then you can go from there.
The Lakers with the ball. Lakers leading by 9. Some say, Kobe, that the shooting guard crop in the NBA right now, a little light in terms of depth, not quite as many top 2 guards as we used to see play the game. Who do you like among some of the 2 guards you see now in the NBA?
Well, it depends who we're considering the 2 guard.
Right, because they just blend,
the 2s,
don't they?
the 3s, they all just blend.
Combo guards are playing some forward position. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. So, shooting guards to me are guards that have to do everything. You have to be able to play the post. You have to be able to play the perimeter. You have to be able to play the point. You have to do everything. So I'll put Russell Westbrook in that category. I'll put James Harden in that category. I'll put Kawhi Leonard in that category. There's a lot of players I'm forgetting. Even Giannis, I would say, is 2 guard because of what he does.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talented guards out there.
Did you like the ball in your hand, bringing it up, or would you have rather someone else bring it up, then get it to you in the half court, and then do what you did?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm jealous about Michael, because Michael didn't have to do that. He had Pippen.
Well, yes, right. Who always brought it up.
Yeah, so he could focus on coming off the screens and catching and shooting. He didn't have to think about facilitating first. He could think about scoring and then passing out of double teams.
Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against him right now.
Well, I think the first thing they need to talk about are the rotations. There's a lot of miscommunication out there.
And a moment now to check out the numbers for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's putting up about 12 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And, guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
And so here is Chicago, 11-point game. Done with it. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. 4 on the shot clock.
And how about the interior defense here early on? They have really shut down the middle. And trailing here in the first, you'd like to see them be a little more aggressive on the offensive glass.
And Caldwell Pope gets the basket. And Kobe, something that has changed in the NBA over the course of your career is the role of the power forward, the four. More and more you need to be able to stretch the floor, take your guy outside, shoot the three. Do you feel that that's a trend, or is that something you think that is here to stay in the NBA?
Well, I think things will evolve and things will change. I mean, you start getting power forwards like Tim Duncan and Garnett back in the league, Dirk. All of a sudden, it becomes less and less of a commodity to have smaller fours.
Right.
Because you're going to need to deal with the Tim Duncans and the Garnetts of the world. So I think it's just a natural evolution thing.
Did you, when you had to guard a big like that, ever fear going out and trying to get him on the side or even working him inside the lane where he would have more power, more advantage?
No, I never worried about it too much. What I try to do is I always try to study the film and figure out what their tendencies are, what their sweet spots are, and you just try to get them off of that. It's not necessarily about the size of them, but how do you get yourself in position when you can knock them off balance a little bit and use the lack of size that you have to disorient them.
And the Lakers making a change here. Clarkson's checked in, and here they come. All alone, throws down the breakaway jam.
Oh, and the long arms of Caldwell Pope are so dangerous on defense. He is so good at making his man feel uncomfortable, which in turn earns him a ton of steals.
And over the course of your career, Kobe, 5 NBA championships. Are there any of those that really stand out among the 5 that you accumulated?
The last one, beating the Celtics. That was the hardest one by far to get.
Why so?
Well, we're going into Boston now with the series tied 1-1. And Boston is absolutely excited about having this split and going home now and having 3 games at home, thinking that the series was not going to come back to L.A.
Oh, wow. Look out.
That's a beautiful jam.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
Oh, okay, you've done your job so far, but the question is now, can they sustain this level of energy? There's still a lot of game to play.
Back to Grant. Got a piece of it. Kuzma passes to Ingram with his first shot attempt. That one's off. He starts the game with a miss.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
Well, Kobe, you look at all the former Defensive Player of the Year, and they're almost always big men. You were a 9-time first-team all-defensive selection in the NBA. Do you think guards sometimes get overlooked at the impact they have in a game and a play?
Yeah, they definitely do.
All the time, huh?
I think the bigs have a huge responsibility in protecting the rim, and those things are very easy to measure.
Right, block shots,
blocks,
and exactly,
rebounding,
altering,
altering shots or defensive rebounds. For guards, it's tougher. But still in all, there's some guards out there who have done it. Michael and Gary Payton and Kawhi Leonard. I count him as a guard. They're just phenomenal defensive players.
Where does that mindset come from? That defensive mindset when you're an offensive gifted player like yourself?
Well, I think that's a truly competitive person. Some players will call themselves competitive, but you're not truly competitive if you only compete at one end of the floor. That's not what true competitive people do.
Kobe, a big part of the talent evaluation today is the psychological impact in that aspect, which I think will lead teams toward one prospect over another. If you were looking for personality traits in players and you were making that decision for a team, what trait would you value the most in a player?
No, curiosity. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's curiosity.
Why so?
Because curious people will always ask why things work or don't work.
And you were a big why asker.
You have to, because that's the only reason you win, is when you can figure out why things happen or didn't happen. Right? If you lose a game, a curious person won't point the finger. A curious person will say, well, why did we lose? Instead of just saying them.
Right.
They're going to go back and check the film and ask questions. Okay, why did we mess up there? Why did we blow that coverage there?
And Kobe, you played for a handful of coaches during your career. When you look back on it, was there one coach you wished you could have played for but didn't have maybe a chance to play for?
Greg Popovich. That's an easy one for me. Although I did play for him in several All-Star games.
Yes, you did.
And one particular All-Star game in practice, he came up to me and said, okay, do you want me to just kind of go through like a whatever practice, or do you want me to do the real thing? I said, Pop, you got to do the real thing, because I've been dying to see what really goes on inside these Spurs practices.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to give us a real practice, man.
Yeah.
And he did. And Tim just kind of looked at me and was like, dude, seriously.
What are you doing here?
Come on, you're killing me.
So what was a Popovich practice like for you, and how did you try to set the tone?
It was high energy. And we moved from drill to drill. And it involved a lot of passing and moving and spacing. And so all of the shooting, it wasn't any individual shooting. all the individual shooting took place within a 5-man offensive structure, of ball movement, of passing and cutting, and all of a sudden your shot comes here in the corner, and then you slide up to the next line, and you dribble, penetrate, and kick it, and then you slide to the next line, dribble, penetrate, kick, right? So it involves constant movement where you're constantly training and conditioning the body that you're not just going to pass and stand and be a participant, right? You're going to be involved into in the action, not going to be a passive participant.
And so he hits both. Kobe, there are a lot of great guards and wings in the league right now. When you look around, are there any that remind you of the way you played, or maybe are approaching, going down that road and say, I want to be like Kobe Bryant? I watch a lot of his tapes, much like you did when you were growing up.
Yeah, well, Isaiah has a hunger and a thirst for the game, and he's not going to stop. He's constantly curious. He's constantly working.
His size makes him a different kind of guy, though.
Isn't that unbelievable, though?
It is shocking.
That's unbelievable. But he can finish at the rim. He can shoot the long ball. He can pull up left and right. He has great physicality and a great body about him where he can punish bigs at the rim. And the other is Kawhi. I mean, when I watch Kawhi play, I'm just looking in the mirror. The moves, the positions on the floor.
So glad you said that. I feel the same way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it's a great feeling because, I'm sure Michael felt the same way. Right? When he retired and you watch me play, you're seeing the same spots. You're seeing a person who studied the person that came before, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already been created. You just put it on a different car.
Well, he has been guided by his coaching staff to watch you and Michael Jordan tape, and I think that's kind of what he's done.
Yeah, well, we've connected. We've talked about this stuff before in the past, and again, he's a curious kid.
And all business.
Yeah, curious. He steps out on the floor, he's all business. There's nothing funny, there's nothing silly going on. He's here to do his job, and he's here to help San Antonio win games.
Brewer is checked in for the Lakers. Here's Hart. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
And it's happening at both ends, trying to end this thing before it begins.
Grant kicks to Pondexter. Down low, here's Portis. And the Bulls with another miss.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play to finish.
And out of bounds as the Bulls gain possession. Bulls trail by 19. Out to the wing. Passes it to Felicio. Over in the corner, Portis. Now, here's Grant. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. And pushing it up, here's Los Angeles. And yes, it's good. Clarkson's got his first points of the night.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
And taking care of the ball has been a problem for them.
That's something they've got to fix. While the defense has been good, a lot of these turnovers have been unforced.
Grant against Clarkson. Shot clock at 6. With the shot. Rebounded by Bogut. Los Angeles leading by 21. Clarkson dishes to Brewer. Shoots over Pondexter. Brewer's shot is off.
Pretty high percentage look with the D playing off. Just couldn't knock it down.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
Tries to save it. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket.
It's going to be tough to win when you give the other team second and third opportunities to score the ball.
Grant the pass to Felicio. Pondexter from outside. Rebounded by the Lakers. Fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And I feel like the defense was one step behind all night. I mean, they never made the adjustments to string together a few stops.
Knocks down the 3 ball. Pondexter's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Here's Randall, and Randall throws it down.
Streaking in on the drive, Randall strong enough to absorb contact and still dunk it.
Clarkson against Grant. Shoots over Clarkson. Here's Felicio. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
And so it's Los Angeles, finishing the quarter up by a whopping 24 points. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We've got more in store for you right after this. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And guys, the Lakers are pretty much in control here.
I mean, an interesting first quarter. The pressure D seems to be causing a lot of turnover.
Well, that's what happens when you're aggressive on that end of the floor. They took a few chances and took control of the game.
Chicago's gone 6 of 11 when they've taken the three-point shot tonight. Very respectable. Kobe, you played in a big market like Los Angeles, one of the biggest in the world, but many are saying that market size matters less and less into the future of the NBA. Do you agree with that?
Well, in a certain aspect, yes, because of the digital age that we live in. I mean, the world is considerably smaller. You have access to market at the touch of a button.
So we see Milwaukee Bucks highlights with Antetokounmpo as much as we would see a Kobe Bryant highlight with Los Angeles.
Absolutely. Yeah. But still, fundamentally, to play in a market like Los Angeles, Los Angeles being the entertainment capital of the world, New York being a great market as well, it's hard to top those no matter how digitally enhanced our society becomes.
Jordan Clarkson is out there with Hart. Then it's Julius Randle. Then it's Bogut. And it's Brewer in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group for the Lakers to start the second quarter. Kobe, for a guy like yourself who made an incredible amount of three-point shots during your career, what is it like watching Steph Curry? Just how much has he changed the league? It was always watching the dunks of Jordan. Now we got kids that want to shoot the ball from distance.
Yeah. Shooting the ball from distance now has kind of become like a home run in baseball, right? Where it's exciting to watch the ball in flight. I think it's great because it just adds more love to the game, more things that players could do or kids can do that can't dunk. Right? It's like dunking was the thing, right? But now for kids that can't dunk, there's something else that's fun. And something else that's entertaining, like shooting threes. Right? So
but boy, great. That takes a lot of work. Huh?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, it's a lot of repetition.
Hundreds of shots daily.
Yeah, and it's a lot of repetition. I mean, Steph, you watch him out there playing and making all these shots.
Yeah.
He's put in hours and hours and hours of hard work and continues to do so.
The free throw drops for Grant. With that three-point shooting on the rise, Kobe, if you were coming into the league right now, would you try to lean more in that direction than the incredible acrobat that you were when you were in your prime?
It depends who I was playing against.
Mm-hmm.
I try to build my game to be able to do all those things.
And you could. I mean, you're like one of the few guys that could do all that.
Yeah, so it just depends on who I was matching up against, which determines then how I would try to punish the defense.
I like that word.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a softer one. And I was like, punish is a good one.
You're honest.
And guys, he's not an easy man to stop when he's got the rim in his sights.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher. And you look at the NBA today and the social media, Kobe, a lot easier for NBA players to connect with fans over that social media platform. However, it's also easier to get people in trouble. Players have got to keep that periscope up, so to say. How hard do you think that is to manage?
Well, I think now in this particular generation, the sensitivity towards things you may hear or see on social media is much different than it would have been years ago. In other words, nowadays for athletes to be on social media, it's more easily tolerable for them to say something, right? Or to be able to speak their mind.
Yes.
And I think the important thing is just the consistency in that. If you have a thought and you want to say it, right? Put it out on social media. Do whatever it is that you want to do with it. The key is just to be consistent and be who you are, not be afraid to be who you are.
And he can't get the first one. So I think for players, Kobe, when they've been criticized on social media, I think they feel it's better to sleep on a reply and see if that same thought still resonates the next morning. Because a lot of in the heat of a post game, you read something, guys go off.
Yeah, they do, and at the same time, when that does happen, because it's going to happen, no matter how many times we say it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, to be able to step back and say, okay, yeah, that's how I felt in the moment, and I said what I felt, and here's why I felt that way, and now you're ready to move on. I mean, it's a lot like life. I mean, people say stuff all the time that they don't necessarily mean, right?
I never felt, though, that you ever said anything that you truly did not believe in your heart.
Yeah, well, I think most people do, right? When you're having a moment, you're looking at it, you say, you know what, should I send this out on social media? Yeah, I really believe this. I really do. And then you send it, and the next morning you're like, oh, no, what?
You had no regrets, though?
No, I mean, everything's a life lesson for me.
Right. For all of us.
Yeah.
And Randall throws it down.
You see what Randall can do when in full attack mode? There, converting off of the miss.
Bulls trail by 20. Chicago calls timeout, and this is the first season matchup for them against the Lakers team.
And just couldn't make the most of their meetings last year. Ended up splitting the season series.
Now, that's a great timeout called by the coach there to try to calm his team down. They're turning the ball over way too much.
And let's quickly go to our rookie leaderboard to find out which rookies have blocked the most shots this season. Lonzo Ball, number 1. 4th, Lauri Markkanen.
And among first-year players, these two are as intimidating a pair of shot blockers as you're going to see.
Kobe, you were a player who lived in the gym. What motivated you as you go back and look at all those hours you spent in the gym to do that, to follow that path?
I loved it. I loved the game. It wasn't a matter of working hard. I didn't realize I was working hard until like my second or third year in the league, when I realized here in the NBA, a lot of players don't do that.
Right.
It was kind of a big shock to me. Like, I assumed everybody in the NBA
just worked hard.
Yeah, but to me, it wasn't hard work. It was like, I love doing this. Like, there's no place on earth I'd rather be than be here in this gym with a basketball in the hoop.
But the greats are always the hardest workers. I mean, right? Have you ever seen a great player who is not the hardest worker on their team?
No, I've seen players have great seasons. And, and then the next season, it's not so much. Right. And then they have another great one. And the consistency isn't there. Mm-hmm. The truly great players love what they do. And that looks like hard work to the outside world.
Did you enjoy playing the game? There was so much you put into the game, but did you enjoy the game?
I did. I enjoyed the game. I loved playing, the competition and all that, the getting ready and all that. But I enjoyed practice more.
Did you?
I did. I enjoyed training and practice more than I did the games.
Wow.
I tell you what, it's scary when you think about how much room Ball has to grow, when you factor in how efficient he is already.
Dunn kicks to Pondexter. Down low. And it's sent back by Bogut.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Hart, that's good. A lot of different ways to lead in the NBA, Kobe. It seems like your leadership style evolved over the course of your career. Talk about that aspect of your game.
Well, in the first half of my career, I was more of a tactician, more floor general. And then the second half of my career, I had to really start thinking about the emotions of the group and connecting with the group more and thinking more outside in as opposed to inside out. But I was also, I was very tough on the guys. I wasn't there to make new friends. Mm-hmm. I was there to help you be the best player you can be, to help us win a championship.
Was it tough sometimes to have a guy that you were close to take some harsh criticism?
No, because the goal is what? To win a championship. Mm-hmm. This is why we're here. This is why I'm sitting in this leadership position. I owe it to the team to help us get in that direction. We can sit here and be nice to each other and tell each other what we think we want to hear. And then at the end of the season, we can all hug each other and say, you know what, we'll get them next time.
Now, here's Dunn. Not a lot of room. So last season, Kobe, one of the closest MVP races we've had in a long time, came down to Westbrook and Harden. Who did you think was going to win before the results came out, and why?
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could sit there and say,
LA
okay,
kids too.
Yeah, I know them both extremely well, and they're both extremely deserving of it. So I refuse to split it.
Yeah,
you know, they're both my guys.
And different kinds of games, and both sensational individual players.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they can do so many things in the game, and now I think the next progression for them is to be able to dominate the game off the ball just as much as they can dominate on the ball, right? Because in the playoffs, the defense has a hard time finding it.
Lopez, no luck.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
Randall with the bucket.
And now they're turning this game into a drag race, sprinting out for easy fast break baskets.
Done with it, now guarded by Ball. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. Lonzo Ball picks one up.
And Dunn does a little bit of everything out there. Scores the ball, distributes it well, and also pounds the glass aggressively.
That one is off. And to have the ball in your hands at all times, always bringing it up. It's exhausting, though, right? That's what they say.
But
now,
they
for
see
you,
the defense sees you, right?
Yeah.
So if you're handling the ball, the defense has eyes on you at all times. You're here. You're right in front of the defense. When you don't have the ball, you're moving behind them. Curry moves behind.
All the time.
He'll bring it up, pass it, and now he's running off the screens behind the defense, right? And it's hard to find him.
Rip Hamilton the same way
Rip
when he
Hamilton
played.
same way.
I know.
Jordan, flare picks, down screens, slicing into the post,
Yes.
right? Coming up to the pinch post. All those operational things take place behind the view of the defense.
Caldwell Pope with it. Now guarded by Dunn. Marking in on the double team. Kobe, that fadeaway jump shot here is such a foundational part of your game. What's the key to that particular shot? And who's carrying the torch for that shot now?
Well, yeah, the fadeaway is there's different ways to shoot the fadeaway. There's the Kim Olajuwon way of shooting the fadeaway. There's a Michael way of shooting the fadeaway.
Oscar used to do it, and I know you.
Oscar used to do it quite a bit. So I try to use bits and pieces from each, depending on the defender that I'm facing. But yeah, there's certain players that are carrying that shot now. LeBron shoots the fadeaway quite often, as does KD. He shoots it a lot. Clay will shoot it. You know, Kawhi will shoot it quite a bit off the pull-up jumpers and things of that sort. So there are a lot of players doing it.
That free throw good from Holiday.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Both free throws good from Holiday. Well, Kobe, it seems like the NBA is becoming less a position-based and more of a skill, positionless game. Perimeter skill now seems to be at a premium. Do you agree with that? Do you like that? Would you change that?
Well, I think players need to be able to play all positions on the floor, right? If you look at the teams that win championships, they generally have every player that's on the floor can make a decision. Every player can dribble. Every player can pass. Every player can shoot, right? There's a reason why San Antonio's always finding themselves there in the end. The reason why the Cavs are finding themselves there in the end. It's a reason why Golden State's because they have playmakers at every position on the floor.
They have basketball players.
They have basketball players, right? Not specialists. They have basketball players.
The first one falls. Kobe, LeBron said he learned so much about how to approach the game when you shared the floor on Team USA. What was it like playing with a guy like him, as you also played with Jordan, and then going up against him all those years?
Well, I think it was a shocking experience for them because I don't think they realized how much I talk trash. So,
no.
Yeah,
what?
I don't think they knew because, when you from a distance, you say, Coach, we thought you were really quiet and all sorts of stuff, and you get to practice, and I just don't shut up. And I'm just saying really brutal things about their game. And it's just, they're getting really ticked off. But
yeah, because you were right.
Yeah,
right,
but then the intensity of practice goes up another level. And then we'd all go out to dinner, and then the next morning, we come into the meeting, and I've already been working out for 2 hours. And so then they see that, and then, D. Wade would come up and say, hey, man, I want to join you in your workouts. What time are we going? 5 a.m. Right, he'd be down there working out. And then Brian would say, yo, I want to come too. So Brian would show up, and then Melo would show up. And all slowly but surely, we have our whole USA team in the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning training.
What a constructive time, I would think,
Oh,
for those other players.
But it was fun for all of us because we got a chance to hang around each other and think about the competition, right? So now when we come back to the NBA, fans are getting a better product, right? Because we've all been working out and pushing each other and getting better off of each other. So now when we step on the court to compete against each other, that means we have to take our games to another level.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Well, Kobe, something that's such a huge tool in the NBA and the team's offense is the pick and roll, the screen roll game. You've done it as well as anybody. Just how are the nuances and the attention to detail important to make that play work?
Well, it's really important, but the screen roll today is run differently than it was, say, when Utah was running it with Stockton and Malone. What you're seeing now is more of a spread floor screen roll action where it makes rotations very difficult because you have to rotate off of shooters at a distance.
Right.
One shot.
So now what you tend to see more teams try to down pick and roll coverages and sending guys to one side of the floor and try to play the screen roll coverage with 2 men. And try to not have 3 guys in the action where you have to rotate and now push your team behind, right? And that it's a dance of can you play the screen roll with just 2 guys? And on offense, can I force you to have a 3rd guy come in and rotate? If I can do that offensively, then you're behind.
And again, no good by Chicago.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Kuzma, that's good. Kuzma's got 8.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And Kobe, your spectacular high school career at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia, and that Philadelphia area paved the way for your NBA career. Talk about some of the highlights of your days in high school.
Well, my days in high school were fun. I mean, I played at a small high school called Lower Merion High School, so not too many people heard of it. When you come to Philadelphia, the schools that you hear of are Overbrook, where Wilt Chamberlain went to school, Bartram, right, where Earl the Pearl Monroe went to school, right? But you never heard of little old Lower Merion High School, right? So it was a huge honor to be able to bring a state championship to Lower Merion and kind of put Lower Merion on the map, and that's the most exciting part about it.
Oh, a terrific story indeed. A huge honor, I'm sure. Chicago's gone 1 of 6 from three-point land in the second quarter. Less than 20%, but they've continued to let them fly. Done with it. Now guarded by Ball. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Kuzma, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
And how about the explosiveness he shows, going from the offensive to the defensive end in a blink?
That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. And a look now at the various locations of the shots taken so far for Caldwell Pope.
Well, just look at the cluster in the middle of the paint. That right there tells you all you need to know about how they have built the lead they have. They are playing with more intensity on the offensive side of the ball, and it's the difference in the game right now. You have to love how they've approached this matchup.
Now here's Ingram, guarded by Holiday. It's Caldwell Pope with the drive.
Just fantastic to have a scorer like Caldwell Pope, a guy who can let it rain from any spot on the floor.
Chicago's gone outside a lot tonight, 17 times in fact, 7 of 17. Kobe, you're a father. You've enjoyed that process, but basketball got in the way a lot of it. How do you balance fatherhood and playing at the level you played at?
Yeah, when I was winning championships there, our kids were still relatively young, or I should say babies. In my last few years, they were older and knew they could really feel my absence. And so what I try to do is try to bring them along for the process. So there were mornings I would wake them up and say, let's go. So we're going. Well, Daddy's going to go train, so let's go.
No kidding.
And I bring them with me. And they'd be in the gym shooting around or kicking a soccer ball around or hitting a volleyball around. But I felt like it was important as a father to not just tell them about hard work, but they need to see what I'm doing. When you're sleeping, this is what I'm doing here for 3 hours. And so they're a part of the process and feel connected to the process. But traveling and things of that nature is very, very hard because there's been plenty of birthdays that I've missed and school plays that I've missed.
Done with it, now guarded by Ball. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession.
And with the break in the action, let's look at the stats for Ingram. He's averaging 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And guys, he's making winning plays. It's as simple as that. Not a star player per se, but he makes his presence felt.
Well, yeah, lately he's been overachieving a little bit. Hopefully this is a sign of greater things to come.
Holiday attacking over Ball.
And he started off shooting it pretty well, but here in the second, he has started to falter.
Here's Caldwell Pope. Another shot, and Ball with the lay-in. Ball's got 13.
Yeah, and they've shown effort and aggression in the paint, really right from the tip. Their rebounding edge right now, massive.
Double team on Holiday. Stolen by Ball. And here again, Los Angeles in transition. Up the court they go.
And Caldwell Pope just knows how to run correctly in transition. He runs wide outside those hashes. He sees lanes and angles so well out there.
Traveling was a part of your job, a part of mine. You missed some things with the kids, but I know you take pride, Kobe, in the fact that you made it to a lot of things as well. You were not an absent parent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's having a great partner. I mean, my wife has been absolutely amazing, which I think is extremely important as well, because she really held down the fort at home, which to me is the toughest job in the world to do. I have it easy in terms of going out there and playing games, but to have the responsibility of actually raising young people to be outstanding citizens. You talk about pressure. I mean, that's I have to ask her how she feels about handling that. You know what I mean? Because that's true pressure.
Clarkson, he's checked in for Caldwell Pope. And a change for the Bulls. Grant's checked in, and it's good. 2 points.
Never backing down. Clarkson, unafraid to shoot with a hand in his face.
Holiday against Clarkson. From the arc. Kuzma pulls it in.
Well, look, his teammates are going to stop giving him the ball if he keeps taking shots like that.
And slam dunk by Ingram.
Shades of KD and Dr. J. Ingram floating to the rim.
We've got 1:28 left to play in the first half. Double team on Holiday. Lopez outside. Markkanen dishes to Grant. Knocked loose. Ingram with the steal. Jumps up and slam dunk by Ingram.
The length and athleticism on display. Ingram, something special on the move.
Well, Kobe, I know you've got to go, but it's been a real treat for you to join us tonight. I know our fans have all enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. Looking forward to doing this again.
The great Kobe Bryant. And Greg, how much fun was it to get to hear the perspective of Kobe and pick his brain while broadcasting a game?
I mean, it's just always interesting to hear what Kobe will notice about a player or a team that most fans, and for that matter, even some former players, they just don't think about. I think that's sometimes what gets lost with the truly great ones. Their minds don't function the way us normal human beings would go about looking at things.
And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
And he wasn't going to get away with that one. Still in motion when he set that screen.
He even knew he wasn't in good position. He tried to slide himself into a better spot. The official wasn't happy.
Chicago making a switch here. Valentine's checked in and slam dunk by Ingram.
The young legs. Ingram getting off the ground before the D can react.
Last game for Chicago, it was a loss to the Suns in Phoenix.
You know, they're the visiting team. It's a loud arena, very distracting at times, but simply no excuse for missing a ton of free throws.
And did you notice how each miss fired up the crowd even more? It became a vicious cycle.
And despite the hot start from beyond, they've gotten away from shooting the triple.
And that one, good. Ingram's got 16.
Continuing to pour it on, Ingram's found a groove.
The three, no good on that last second attempt there. And so it's the Los Angeles Lakers enjoying the kind of gigantic lead you almost never see. Their defense has been active and effective. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And Kentavious, you guys were getting a lot of offensive rebounds in the first half. How important was that?
Oh, man, that is important, man. We got to keep them off the glass. We can't get them second shot, and we got to offensive rebound too as well. Get us some second chance at the basket and just keep working hard.
Well, you made it work in the first half, KCP. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dave, thank you. And time now for the halftime break with the third quarter soon to follow. Right here on 2K Sports.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And hello again. We have an exhilarated home crowd joining us for our halftime report. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaq. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was on fire in the first half. He had 25 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals. He struggled in their last game, but he's not having any problems tonight. Really good first half for him. He was right on the mark. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Lakers.
Well, their field goal percentage is a number that jumps off the page. May I say it's Shaq-like?
That's a good one.
Seriously, they're incredibly efficient shooting the basketball, and I don't think they settle for any bad shots. And you're never going to go wrong with that strategy.
How about you, Shaq? What did you think about Chicago?
Well, one reason they're getting roasted, a.k.a. blown out, poor rebounding. Way too many one-and-done possessions. I don't want to see guys dribble between their legs and shoot. Not enough fundamentals. Hey, box out 101. Maintain position 101. Learn how to play basketball 101. Things like that, Ernie.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope really making a difference here.
And through the first 2 quarters, he was extremely aggressive, picked up a number of steals.
Oh, well, you take some chances. Sometimes you can get burned, but you hope more often than not that you can be a catalyst for your team.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. The Bulls shooting a mediocre 41% in this one. And Chris, I know you've been executive producing and hosting various TV shows. You had a great NBA career, obviously, and it seems like you continue to find success. How's that been for you?
Well, I try to take the same lessons I learned in sports. You know, when I first got to Golden State, the first man I searched out was Chris Mullin and found out all of his habits and stole all of his knowledge, and I tried to take that and move forward. And I try to do the same in other areas. I try to work with the best. I try to learn, work hard, work my way up the rookie ladder and see what happens. And so I've just aligned myself with some really great people, some wonderful thinkers and hard workers, and hopefully it'll continue to have fun like I am doing. So it's been a great ride.
You're always learning, right? You never stop learning.
Man, come on. It's not just about a school or a class or one mentor. It's about everyday learning so that you can kind of learn and put people's knowledge with your unique sense of self and make it work. Why not learn on someone else's dime? Why go through life making mistakes when other people can kind of let you know, wait, I did this, you want to think about that, and kind of just put your own playbook together.
Mm-hmm. So for Chicago right now, Markkanen and Lopez are together down low. Then there's Dunn, and it's Holiday in at the 2-guard spot.
They have yet to hit a shot, a real slow start here in the second half. Yet the chemistry has been terrific, really impressed with their offensive execution.
Knocked away, stolen by Caldwell-Pope. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
And Caldwell Pope just blows past defenders with his speed. Just a sensational finisher all around the bucket.
Here's Dunn. Outside Holiday. Ball's knocked loose. Will it go? And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. That's on Brook Lopez.
Well, and Robin Lopez, the big piece that came to the Bulls in the Derrick Rose trade. He's always been a solid center. Plays solid defense on the block and isn't lost when it's stretched out. He does a good job of protecting the rim as well.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
And that one misses. And with Robin Lopez, a very imposing player on the court, but he's also one of the more colorful characters, Chris, in the league. A very, very funny guy.
Well, I don't know what happened with him and mascots as a kid, but he's been taking his revenge out on them his whole career. He brings a great vibe to the locker room that helps with that team chemistry.
He hits the second from the line.
Lopez. Now, this guy, he's a reliable role player, a stiff defender, and an intelligent shooter as well.
And the shot goes in. And that's now 17 points for Lonzo Ball.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
Well, they continue to extend the lead. Terrific play on both ends of the court.
And Ball slams it in.
And beginning to pull away. Really effective play calling halfway through this one.
Well, they figured out what's working, and that's what they're going to keep hammering on.
Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Now, here's Dunn. He's covered closely, and the shot is good. Holiday's got 12 in the game.
And that solid play in the paint continues here, guys.
Got that one up quick.
And when it rains, it pours. Another jump shot tickles the twine.
Chicago's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Wide open look. Offensive rebound. Caldwell Pope. And he battles for the ball and gets the second chance bucket. Caldwell Pope's got 8 here in the quarter.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting it in the paint and continue to score consistently.
Caldwell Pope brings the double team. And here is Dunn. Clock at 6. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. And with a quick break in the action, let's now take a look at the top rookie free throw shooters in the NBA. Lowry Markkanen third.
And really, he needs to continue getting to the free throw line as much as possible because he's pretty deadly once he gets there.
The drive by Lopez. It's hauled in by Dunn.
Great aggressiveness, attacking the hoop with reckless abandon. Just missed time to dunk by a hair there.
And the Bulls with another miss.
Man, you hate this. Getting off to a rocky start in the beginning to this half. Only shooting 20% from the field.
They get it back. Stolen by Holiday. Pass to Zipser. Lopez with the block. For 3. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Lopez has got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Zipser kicks to Dunn. And it's Lopez at the elbow. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. 5 to shoot. The shot by Holiday, no good.
Look, it would be a huge boost for them if he could start knocking these down.
And how about just floating to the rim on that slam?
Boy, when he gets up, he gets up. And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Excellent work by the talented people in our production truck as well. That's tipped, and it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. And we've seen a few players come into the NBA through different paths, either playing overseas for a year or spending time in the D League, now known as the G League. Chris, do you think that these alternative paths to the NBA will ever be as common as the standard collegiate path to the NBA?
Well, I think it can be, only because there's such an international presence in the game, and that now you're starting to find players all over. And the great thing about the NBA is it doesn't matter where you come from. It just matters what type of skill set that you have. So I can see it being other paths to the NBA, but the NCAA is always going to be one, in the fact that guys want to play for their state teams, and that's always going to be fun to watch. But thank God for basketball fans and athletes, there's a lot of paths to the NBA, which is the ultimate if you want to play basketball.
Absolutely.
Running it down their throats. 3 straight baskets there in transition.
Holiday with the 3, sinks the triple. Holiday's got 5 points now this quarter.
He is a dangerous outside shooter, and if you leave him open, he can bury them consistently. Well, the Lakers are undergoing a dramatic change of leadership in the front office last season. I mean, I think many felt that a change was needed. We'll see if they can turn things around.
No good on the triple. LA has gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third, still 0 for 3. Caldwell Pope for 3. Gets the three-pointer to fall. Caldwell Pope's got 17 points here in the second half. Caldwell Pope brings the double team. Pondexter kicks to Holiday. Now Pondexter. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got 3 assists tonight.
Yeah, and they are living and dying from beyond the arc since halftime. It's a different look than what we saw in the first half.
Pondexter, the pass to Dunn. Out to the right wing. The wide open look here for Holiday. Holiday with another miss.
And he has been ice cold from beyond the arc here.
Oh!
The brutal strength of Randall, allowing him to finish right there through clear contact.
The Bulls' shooting has been wayward so far, only 37% from the floor. Pondexter kicks to Holiday. Double team on Holiday. Knocks it loose. It's stolen by Randall. And Randall throws it down.
One of the young power forwards, Randall, one of the best off the dribble drive.
Randall's gone 6 of 7 so far. Boy, he's making it look easy here, isn't he? Portis kicks to Holiday. Pass to Portis. Here's Dunn. Over Hart. And again, no good by Chicago.
Wow, he's really been dragging him down tonight.
A stupendous finish in traffic. Hart's got 8 points.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Pondexter, no good.
Well, it's a confidence shaker when you can't hit a wide open 3 like that.
Here's Bogut, and finished off by Bogut.
They're just a forceful finish there. Bogut has that natural power.
Done with it. Tipped away. Bogut drives in and finished off by Bogut.
Yeah, showing a little athleticism off the drive. I like how easily Bogut gets up into the air.
Here's Chicago. Dunn kicks to Holiday. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Andrew Bogut. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Lakers with some changes. Brewer comes in for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And it's Jordan Clarkson in for Ball. Valentine's checked in for Chicago. Jaron Grant comes in for Chris Dunn. Grant dishes to Valentine. There's the double team with Bogut. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Andrew Bogut. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Los Angeles on D. Grant with the ball. Now defended by Randall. 6 to shoot. Felicio off the mark, and the drought continues.
And they've just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Yeah, trying to recapture momentum. When the tide's running against you, very difficult to do. What will the young kids say today? Ride that wave.
Valentine kicks to Grant. There's the screen. And here are the Bulls now. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Here's Brewer. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Corey Brewer, a player who has never been known for his offense, but Chris, you have to appreciate the energy he plays with. When he's on the floor, it seems like everyone on his team is moving a little bit faster than normal.
And Brewer is a solid transition finisher, but yeah, his offense is what he is known for. He came into the league as a defender and has always hung his hat on that. He has very quick and lengthy arms that can bother perimeter players.
2 shots. Relax on the first.
And that one falls for Brewer.
Wow, the former Florida Gator Brewer, a defensive specialist who uses his rangy speed to clog up the passing lanes.
Brewer hits them both. And Chris, usually the guys who score a lot of points get all the attention. But if you had to pick some who don't get a lot of credit for the way they fill it up, who would some of those names be?
That's tough. I think anytime you have a guy like DeMarcus Cousins, who's a big guy and one of the top leading 5 scorers in the league, I think he doesn't get enough credit for scoring. His teammate, Anthony Davis, probably because of his record and his team not winning as much, doesn't get enough credit. Kawhi Leonard, because he's quiet and unassuming, doesn't grab that credit. And then you got guys like Gordon Hayward, who's just coming onto the scene.
Wow.
And Brewer has that road runner-esque speed. Beep, beep. I mean, just coasting all the way to the bucket in transition.
And Chicago shooting poorly, just 35% so far. Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Here's Pondexter, covered by Brewer. And the Bulls with another miss. The Lakers shooting 66% right now. This offense getting everything they want out there.
And how about the 46th pick back in the 14 draft? Jordan Clarkson has certainly exceeded expectations thus far in his career. An athletic combo guard, he's really succeeded playing at both the 1 and 2.
It's his first trip to the line.
He struggled mightily at the free throw line in their last game.
Free throw good. Clarkson. And Greg, Jordan Clarkson, he has an offensive game, doesn't he?
He's able to shoot with range, and he can attack off the bounce as well. I think that enables him to kind of play on or off the ball. And I think he has a chance to be a really good two-way player in our league.
Good on both.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
Over to the wing. Grant, right side. The pass to Felicio. Here's Portis. And no good. The dry spell continuing for him. Here's Brewer. It's rebounded by Portis. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Here's Pondexter. And he banks in the layup. Pondexter's got 8.
Now look at that. That's just a great all-around play. Getting into position for the offensive rebound, finishing strong on the putback. But that lead's only going to keep growing if he keeps shooting it like he has so far.
And so here is Chicago. They'll be off next to Utah for a meeting with the Jazz. That is game 3 of this 4-game trip. No good from Grant. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Here's Hart. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. The Bulls shooting a pretty low 34% thus far. The shot by Valentine, no good.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
Sometimes you get a little outside of yourself. You have to be a little more disciplined.
They are just killing them on the interior.
To the right side. Here's Portis. And the Bulls with another miss.
Look, they cannot leave him open like that. The D got away with one there.
Stolen by Grant. In the corner, Valentine with it. The three-pointer is right on target. Valentine's got his second bucket of the night.
There isn't any player in the league who's going to pass up that shot. There was nobody near him.
And Randall throws it down.
Anytime Randall gets near the rim, you better look out. It's about to be a brutal finish.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. In the corner, Valentine with it. Misses the three. They are enjoying the commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch.
At the line for two.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
And the first one at the line is good. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. We've got 13 seconds left in the third quarter. Lopez a screen. Right wing, three-pointer. The shot by Valentine, no good.
And you know what? You can't get a better screen. Frees him up beautifully, but he just fails to capitalize.
The best laid plans, right? Well, I tell you right there, though, that's one they'll take every single time.
And as we conclude the third quarter, pretty much a blowout. It's been a one-sided affair. Los Angeles on top, running away with it. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Lakers shooting 65%, an outstanding offensive display from them. They've got Hart. He's out there with Ennis. Ivica Zubac is out there with Dang. And it's Kuzma in at the 4 spot. That's the Laker 5. They get a hand on it. Takes it up with both hands and rips it down.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Oh, well, that's because it was terrific anticipation. Also, the quick hands, a lethal combination.
And so it looks like the Bulls will retain possession here. And Chicago shooting just 33%, struggling to get good looks. 5 on the clock. Gets to the corner and buries it. Now here's Ennis. Another shot. It's hauled in by the Bulls. Lopez has got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. Felder, the pass to Lopez. To the middle. Lakers have gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. Here's Zubac. And no good that time. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Swiped away. Hart the pass to Zubac. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And there's the call. Chicago the foul.
Well, the big story from the Bulls last offseason was trading Jimmy Butler. It had to be. He had strife with the front office, problems with players. Both sides seemed to want to move on.
The free throw drops for Zubac. Well, Chris, as you said, the strength of this Bulls team last season came from Wade and Butler. And speaking of Wade, what better a player to act as a mentor for this team than Dwayne Wade?
Well, it's hard to get fair value for a guy like Butler. It was clear that Chicago needed to mix things up. Now, Levine, I really like his game. He can really help this team. And they, marketing, that's decent.
And the NBA game is evolving, Chris. You know that. And if you were starting back at square one, say, and trying to develop your skills to prepare yourself for a pro career, is there anything you do differently to prepare yourself for how the game is being played now?
That's a great question. I remember playing in Washington, and I shot over like 35% from the three-point line. And I remember in the paper they were saying, we don't need big fellas to do that. So I got right back in the post. And so the game has changed so much. And so I would really say that I would balance the work that I did in the post with outside the post. I would just make sure that I would continue to stretch the floor as far as three-pointers, to give guys room to drive. And I would have definitely continued to work on my ball handling, maybe where a picker could have screened for me, and then I could have been the initiator, since in most times I was kind of that point forward. But for the most part, no, I would have tried to put the same effort in, but definitely with different skill sets. You get to play differently now. When we think about it, I don't think Larry Bird got to shoot 2 3-pointers a game. Imagine if he would have got to just let 7 go. I don't know what we would ask him, except would you have to ice your wrist after games a little bit more, because you would maybe able to shoot more. So I think the freedom would have been fun, but I don't think I would have had to prepare any differently.
Feeds to Markkanen. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls.
And the rebounding has been key to their success here tonight.
Oh, you're exactly right. It's simple arithmetic. More boards means more possessions, means more opportunities to score. Simple arithmetic.
And you can see now they're starting to push the tempo to good effect.
Felder kicks to Valentine. Shoots the 3. Kuzma pulls it in. Kuzma's got his 4th rebound in this one.
His percentage from the field is not very strong this quarter.
And it's been about that execution offensively. I mean, they have been superb.
Yeah, and it's been a team game, a number of contributions. Guys staying focused. That's why the league continues to grow.
And that one, good. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the 4th. Dang with the bucket.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
Chicago's gone into a funk from downtown in the 4th. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket. Valentine's shot, good.
They've given up a lot of 3-pointers here today.
That's good from Dang on the assist by Ennis. And that's now 6 points for Luol Deng.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
Yeah, they've come out of the break with an eye toward efficiency. One of the advantages they hold in this game.
And we know this league is enjoying great success. The Players Union, going into last season, created a program, Chris, to fund health insurance for all retired players with 3 or more years of service.
Well, I'm proud of our Players Union. I hope that other sports take lead. You take care of those that come before you. That's one thing in the NBA we always know, and the players will always respect. That's why it was a unanimous vote by the Players Association. It definitely was a proud moment. I'm proud of my NBA brothers.
And that one falls for Dang. Last season, one thing this Bulls team did was attack the glass. We're used to seeing them rebound well on the defensive end, They also did great work, Chris, getting second chance points.
Yeah, you love the fight and attitude every player has in the paint. Everyone on this roster can go up and steal you an extra possession if you don't box them out.
And so he makes both from the line. Here's Felder. To the left side wing. The shot by Markkanen, nobody around. Offline with his three. Now here's Dang. He's guarded closely. Off target at the rim. Passes it to Felder. Launches a three. Rebounded by the Lakers. Here's the break. Knocks it loose. The Lakers another fast break chance right here. Here's Kuzma. It's good. The assist that time for Menace. Kuzma's got 20.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Lopez a screen. He's covered by Dang. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. That one on Ennis. And the Lakers, Greg, for a long time could rely on the lure of Los Angeles to draw top free agents. History does a lot, it seems.
Yeah, Paul George listing them on his short list shows they still have that pull, but the Lakers will be big players in free agency, I believe, in the near future.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw. It's interesting to see the impact of technology on the game, too. I heard LeBron James. A lot of players now review footage on a tablet when they check out their play.
Well, yeah, you know, back in the older days, a lot of us went to the locker room and you would go in the room and watch it on video. So it's the same type premise. It's just that, you know, technology is better today. I mean, every guy wants to do it. You want to know what you're doing well, what you're doing wrong. You're all a coach on the floor. You're the quarterback, and LeBron especially is the quarterback of his offense. So it doesn't surprise me before that he's studying tape. Terrific pass work. That shot's a lot easier after an assist like that.
Tang's gone 4 of 6 from the floor here tonight. Felder kicks to Lopez. Valentine wide open. He fires. Drills it from outside. Valentine's got 6 here in this quarter.
He is really feeling it right now. I mean, this is his second 3 of the half.
Ennis misses. And Chicago shooting a pedestrian 36% in the fourth quarter. The offense not doing their best work of late. Ball's knocked loose. Valentine kicks to Felder. Got a hand on it. And here we go with Dang running it up the floor. And there's Ennis on the assist by Dang.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Here's Felder. Dishes it to Markkanen. Here's Valentine. Another 3 for Chicago.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Well, the Bulls last year were just dreadful from deep. I mean, they were one of the worst three-point percentages in the league. They just didn't have enough consistent shooters to spread the floor.
And Chris, for the Bulls last season, they knew shooting from distance would be an issue for them. At least it was something they tried to avoid.
Well, you can't have success without having a deep threat or two. Bulls learned that the hard way last season. With the completely revamped roster, they hope for better results from outside.
Free throw drops for Ennis. Well, a few seasons ago, the NBA introduced the last 2-minute report, where they release a review of all the calls in the final 2 minutes of a game. It has certainly had some mixed reaction. Chris, how do you feel about the public review that a refereeing crew now faces with the report?
Well, you know, I think pressure should be on referees just like it is on players. I think everyone gets their job evaluated, and it's no different from anyone else. I don't know what it does, though, what a report does by telling you what happened in the last 2 minutes and that this referee missed the call. So I don't know what it does, but I don't mind it because everyone needs to be held accountable, and transparency is always good.
Very well said. Here's Pondexter. Rebound the Lakers. Bogut's got his 6th rebound on the night. Here's Hart. It's in and good for his 6th field goal in 10 attempts.
Now that was a sensational feed. He hit him right on the move.
The Bulls shooting about 33%, not happy with their play on that end. They set the pick. Kicks to Valentine. No good with the triple. Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
That's the key. The D can't focus on one player, and no matter what anybody tells you, that ball will always move quicker than the defender.
And pushing it up, here's Los Angeles.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Now, that's just the aggressiveness of transition, making sure they come away with points.
And for the Bulls, they're shooting a paltry 33% in the 4th. Not a good showing for this offense. And here's the fast break. Here's Brewer. Finished off the break.
Defense, for me, just hasn't made the commitment to sprint back in transition, and that's why you see such a huge differential in fast break points.
There's the pick. The dish to Valentine. And again, Chicago. No good. The feed to Brewer. Oh, and the dunk by Brewer.
Oh, and when Brewer gets ahead of steam, the D is finished. Just relentless in how he slams it through.
And something we see now in the modern NBA, Chris, is that players will try and recruit other players in free agency, sometimes almost leading up to free agency. How often do you think that happens now, and how is that, say, different from when you played?
It's a lot different from when I played. I think guys wanted to play together, but we did not recruit or try to play together with each other because of the way that the rules were in collective bargaining and because of the way the game was at that time. At that time, even if you had a friend that was your very close friend off the court, you wanted to beat him for bragging rights on the court. Back then, it was more of, can my team beat your team? Not can we play together. I tell you what, with friends that I had in the league at that time, that would have been pretty cool to play with some of my friends that I think were great players. But I just think it's just been a line in the sand. It's just changed. I think a lot of it's changed because we're playing basketball at younger ages. Guys are playing and traveling the country and know each other from ages 10, 11, and 12. So they have honest, genuine friendships and really want to play together. And so I don't really think it's a problem. But it's interesting watching these super teams and how all of this is developing. It definitely didn't happen in my day, and I'm just now, I won't say getting used to it, but I'm just now recognizing that, man, it's okay to play with your friends, I guess.
In the corner, it's Pondexter. They get it again. Felicio. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
2 shots, gentlemen. 2.
Chris, as we all know, you grew up in the Detroit area. It's a town that has seen glory days and hard times. Talk about what it means to you to come from Detroit and what you see in the future for the Motor City.
Well, it means everything to me to be a Detroiter. I think that's what made me successful in my career, is that I took on the heart of the city and the fact that it's a hard-hat town, a blue-collar town, and you have to earn your keep and you have to wish positive for the future. And so it's been great coming from there, and the hard times being from there, you know that we're resilient, and so it's great to see positive energy enter back into the city. It's great to see the Pistons play in the city for the first time in over 20 years, and so I see the future is bright for Detroit because Detroiters are always there, and as long as we have the people, everything else will be great.
You and I broadcast the last game in the Palace, and I'm wondering what you think the impact will be with the Pistons, as you just talked about, in their brand new building.
I think the impact would be great, but for fans. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to see the city. I wanted to see our team play, and I only lived a few miles from downtown, but about 30 or 40 miles from the Palace, and so I'm happy that the kids that supported the team, that dreams about being a Piston one day, I'm glad they finally get to go to a game. I'm glad that Detroit finally gets to really call the Pistons their own. What is it going to do? It's going to infuse positivity, and so hopefully for everyone, it's a positive environment.
Pass to Valentine. Ring shot on the way. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Hart's got his 5th rebound in this one. Here's Randall. Rebound by Pondexter. Pondexter's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. The Bulls get it back in a new 24. No good, shot missing. And here's the Lakers. They're on a 16-7 run. Here's Randall. It's rebounded by Portis. Portis has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Lakers.
At every opportunity, they managed to push the ball and keep the up-tempo game going.
I think it paid off, that's for sure.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and looking at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
From an offensive standpoint, he was their leader tonight. Whenever they needed a big bucket, he was always the guy to come up with.
Here's Randall. It's good, and that takes him to 77% shooting this game, 10 for 13.
And how much longer are they going to keep that foot on the accelerator?
At this point, it's just icing on the cake. Terrific run, closes it out.
Back to Portis. Puts up a 3. Rebounded by Hart. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Over Valentine. Again, the Lakers.
And giving the fans what they came to see, a spirited performance.
Yeah, with a double-digit lead at this point, they can pretty much mark this one up in the win column.
Another steal. Hart the pass to Ennis. Got a hand on it, and out of bounds as the Lakers gain possession. Timeout called, the Lakers. They're up. 6 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Guys, what's your take?
You know, this is a timeout maybe just so they can pat each other on the back because no other reason to call it.
My guess is that they're just trying to avoid some monumental breakdown after having dominated up to this point.
Now the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
And guys, no doubt who our pick was going to be. He's made everyone else on the court look like they're playing at half speed. It's been total domination, and you can't help but just sit back and admire that performance.
The lift he got from this home crowd has been obvious. There's nothing fans love more than getting a big game out of someone other than one of their stars. Six seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one.
That's what we're talking about in terms of the activity level defensively. You got to protect the rim.
Well, that takes physical ability, good timing, those 2 things that he possessed.
And so it's the Lakers taking care of business here. They poured it on tonight, dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
And, you know, this game could really be a defining one for what they can do when they are playing at their best. I mean, being here at home no doubt helps, and the execution was flawless.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Julius. Now look, you're banging in the paint, but what do you see from your backcourt?
They do a great job of, they obviously can score the ball, but getting us into things and running the offense very well and leading the team that way.
Well, they led you to a win tonight, Julius. Thank you for your time. Kevin?
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Greg Anthony, Chris Webber, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.